Parker Town Council for March 20th at 7 p.m. All council members are present. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. First item up on our agenda is public comments. Public comments, an opportunity for town residents and other interested individuals to speak about items not on the agenda. Seeing that we have no public in the audience today, I think we'll forego unless anyone wants to have public comment. Chief, you want to say anything, or?
No, I'm good.
You're good, okay. All right. Mary Lou, you're good? I'm good. All right. All right, next up is reports, items, and comments from Mayor and Town Council. We'll start to my left with Councilman Diak.
Thank you very much. On the 9th of March, we had an E470 board meeting. The only matter that we discussed was IT vendors, change orders for our back office and road widening support. I also had a call with Dr. Cog Executive Director Doug Rex and Dr. Cog Chair Steve Conklin regarding the upcoming Dr. Cog Awards ceremony. That is all.
Okay. Councilmember Wilkes?
On the 9th, we had a ribbon cutting for my own office, which was fantastic, and council and mayor was there, and it was just wonderful. Other than that, enjoyed spring break.
Excellent. Councilmember Hefta?
Well, the past couple of weeks, I've attended an RTD virtual call with the many directors and board members on discussing some of the issues regarding RTD in the Douglas County area and Denver metro area, et cetera, and up north as well. I did attend a Parker Library Zoom call with the director of the Parker Library, Douglas County Libraries. I did attend the Douglas County Homeless Executive Committee meeting, and at that meeting there was an update on the HEART team and other organizations which are working collectively together to address the homelessness situation in Douglas County. And then I was asked to participate in a public service announcement, PSA video shoot for the new Castle Rock Veterans Center that'll be going in probably 2024 by Commissioner George Teal, and I participated with other elected officials that were veterans. Thank you.
Excellent. Councilmember Hendricks?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the Partnership of Douglas County Governments meeting last week. Also attended the retirement party for Sergeant Joe Cummings of Parker Police, and then also attended the chamber ribbon cutting that Councilmember Wilkes mentioned. Thank you.
Councilmember Barrington?
Nothing to report. I've been out of town. Thank you.
Councilman Rivero?
Thank you. I too was at partnership with the mayor and Councilmember Hendricks, and then also at Sergeant Cummings' retirement. It was a tough loss for the town. I've known Joe a long time, and it was a hard retirement ceremony, but truly did him honor and appreciate your words, Chief. It was well stated, and I think you spoke for the community, so thank you very much for that. And Thursday, I had Cherry Creek Basin Water Quality Authority meeting.
Great. In addition to council members Rivero and Hendricks at the partnership meeting where it was held here at the Parker Library, and I think Josh, Todd, you can attest, the other mayors are really jealous of Parker. I mean, you know,
sure.
I'm the only mayor that gets heckled in the whole group up there, so you know, there's a lot of jealousy going on.
I agree. We agree.
It's very sad. Very sad. And we did attend Sergeant Cummings going away retirement party after 25 years of service to the town of Parker, and it was fantastic. And just this evening, I talked to Cub Scout Pack 363, which is the future of Parker, and boy, they are politically astute for 7, 8, up to 11-year-old. Very some really good conversations there. So. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion on consent agenda items unless council votes to remove an item for individual discussion. Ordinances on the consent agenda are for introduction only and will not be removed for discussion. So council, you have items 4A through 4E for your consideration.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve consent agenda items 4A through 4E, please.
Second.
Motion was made by Rivera, seconded by Hefta. Rivera,
Aye.
Barrington,
Yes.
Hendricks.
Yes.
Dyak.
Yes.
Wilkes.
Aye.
Hefta.
Yes.
And that passes 6-0. Next up on our agenda is our public hearing of the night. So I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:05 PM. This is ordinance number 1.567.1 on second reading, a bill for an ordinance to adopt the 2023 revised budget for the town of Parker and to make appropriations for the same. Hey, Rhonda.
Hi. Get my clicker. Okay. So, good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening, I will be presenting an ordinance to amend the 2023 budget. There are two types of amendments being presented as part of the ordinance. Carryovers are to reappropriate unspent budget for multi-year projects or for outstanding projects that were made in a outstanding purchases that were made in a prior year and have not been received by the end of the year. Examples of these are major road projects, trail development, large stormwater projects, town facility projects, vehicle purchases, and multi-year studies. Supplemental requests are for expenditures not anticipated at the time the budget was approved. These are funded through new revenue sources or available cash balance. Additional funds are, examples of this are additional funds for the tree grant program, the stormwater project to restore a culvert, the day camp and preschool program at the field house, additional scope and cost for the O'Brien Park Streetscape project. This chart shows a summary of the revisions in the ordinance. The details can be found in Exhibit A that is attached to the ordinance. Total net revision of this budget amendment is $40,738,617. Of that, carryovers are $40,078,293, and a net supplemental of expenditures and revenues of $660,324. With that, staff recommends that Town Council approves 1.567.1 on second reading, and this concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
So we'll have some questions for you. I'll start to my far right. Councilman Rivera,
I have no questions.
Councilman Barrington,
No questions, thanks.
Councilman Hendricks,
No questions.
Councilman Dyak,
No questions.
Councilmember Wilkes,
No questions.
Councilmember Hefta.
Could I ask a question of Miss Mary Colton? Okay. Just because I don't believe we've discussed it at any length in detail about the preschool program at the Parker Rec Center. Could you come up and maybe elaborate a little bit on that, how that came into being and why that's necessary for the town of Parker?
Yeah, so the preschool program was initiated by our day camp staff because we saw a need for preschool. Our after-school camp program was diminishing, and we had a lot of inquiry about preschool programs to our staff, so that came to be kind of at the tail end of COVID, and we saw a need for it, and we did pretty careful, thorough analysis, and that showed the need and demand. So we went forward with the implementation.
And is that going to be a half-day preschool program for, is that ages 2 to 4 or 2 to 5?
Yeah, so primarily that is the age group. It will be a variety of options, so half-day, full-day options. And again, this will be evaluated kind of as we go to see what the demand is and where the need is mostly at our facility. So right now, we're not quite sure how that will roll out, if we actually need more of the half-day options versus the full-day options. But there definitely is demand for the program.
Yeah. Do you have an approximation of how many enrollees right now?
Yeah, we currently have, it's full. We currently have 15 kids enrolled in our preschool program.
Oh, that's exciting. And
Yeah.
and were you able to get good value for that member services on that, the fees for that, to help with the implementation of the program?
Yeah, so in determining our financial sustainability and cost recovery for the program, we're making sure that it's zero impact budgetarily. So, before we go into this, we've evaluated that and made sure that we, knew what our break-even points were for the program to be not just effective, but sustainable.
Right.
So that's the core objective.
That's exciting news on the preschool program, and hopefully we'll get the word out so that enrollment number can grow as the program grows.
Yep, and we are limited to enrollment by the state and what those ratios look like. So, but right now we're full. So that's the good news.
Thank you so much, Mary.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mary. All right, with that, we're going to open up public comment at 7:10 on ordinance number 1.567.1. Anyone from the public wishing to make a comment? Seeing none, we'll close it at 7:10. We'll also close the public hearing at 7:10 and bring it back to council for any final comments. Councilmember Hefta, final comments?
Thank you for your hard work, Budget Committee and Finance Department.
Councilmember Wilkes?
None, thank you.
Councilman Dyak?
I'm good, thanks.
Councilman Hendricks?
No comment.
Councilmember Barrington?
No, thank you.
And Councilmember Rivero?
I too appreciate the hard work, and understandably, it looks like a big number, but 99.9% of it is carryover. So thank you very much for putting it out in public, and I appreciate your work.
And with that, I'll entertain a motion on ordinance number 1.567.1.
I move to approve ordinance number 1.567.1 on second reading.
Second.
Motion is made by Wilkes, seconded by Hendricks. Rivero?
Aye.
Barrington?
Yes.
Hendricks?
Yes.
Dyak?
Yes.
Wilkes?
Aye.
Hefta?
Yes.
And that passes 6-0. Thanks, Rhonda. Next up is our ordinances. Ordinance number 9.356 on second reading. A bill for an ordinance to approve the intergovernmental agreement dissolving the Reuter-Hess Recreation Authority and establishing the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners as the managing jurisdiction of recreation operations and management at Reuter-Hess Reservoir by and between Parker Water and Sanitation District, Douglas County, City of Castle Pines, City of Lone Tree, the Town of Parker, and the Town of Castle Rock.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Is this on?
It's on.
All right. So this evening, I will be presenting an update for council's approval for the Reuter-Hess Recreation Authority intergovernmental agreement. For background purposes, the Reuter-Hess Recreation Authority was formed back in 2015 through an IGA with the municipal members Parker, Castle Pines, Castle Rock, Lone Tree, Douglas County, and Parker Water and Sanitation District. The primary function of the authority was to fund and manage recreation activities and capital improvements per the 2016 Reuter-Hess Master Plan. Since 2015, the municipal members have alternated administering recreational activities, resulting in some inconsistencies, limited access to the reservoir, and growing public frustration as a result. So, in response to this situation, the managers of the municipal members, including Michelle, agreed that improved public access to the reservoir was a high priority and that it made logical sense to establish Douglas County as the managing jurisdiction. This would centralize implementation of the Reuter-Hess Recreation Master Plan and the administration of recreational activities most efficiently at the reservoir. In order for this to occur, the existing IGA would need to be terminated, dissolving the Reuter-Hess Recreation Authority and establishing the Douglas County Commissioners as the managing jurisdiction. The authority board would become an advisory committee to the county, and the town would continue with its annual contribution of $210,000 pending approval of the town council. So, staff is recommending the approval of ordinance number 9.356 on second reading, which is to approve the intergovernmental agreement dissolving the Reuter-Hess Recreation Authority and establishing the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners as the managing jurisdiction of recreation operations and management at Reuter-Hess Reservoir by and between Parker Water and Sanitation District, Douglas County, the City of Castle Pines, City of Lone Tree, Town of Parker, and the Town of Castle Rock. And I will take any questions at this time.
Great. I'll start to my left. Councilmember Dyak.
No, I mean, I appreciate your efforts, and we've been well briefed on this. Thank you very much.
Great. Councilmember Wilkes.
None, thank you.
Councilmember Hefta.
Yes. Mary, how is that annual contribution calculated between the different towns in Douglas County or cities?
I don't know that there's a definitive answer to that. When this first started back in 2015, we were given multiple reasons by population and by just equitable distribution based on population, so that is my understanding. But I don't know that it's ever been clearly defined as to what those contributions are. Thank you.
Councilmember Hendricks,
No questions.
Councilmember Barrington,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I know Douglas County's gone so far as to already hire a director, if you will, but where else will our contribution and the other contributions of the citizens go? Do you know where those dollars go? That 210 goes to staffing the reservoir, obviously. Is there other?
Yeah, so
Ever-
that contribution goes to, a portion of it goes to capital improvements per the 2016 Recreation Master Plan at Ruder Hess, and then a portion of that also is distributed to the management, so the administration of the recreational activities. Most of that in recent years has been attributed to the capital improvement projects, but which has resulted in limited access. So focus now being, let's get the management of the recreational activities to include fishing, kayaking, paddleboarding, more accessible to the users versus just the focus on the capital projects. And so it's distributed per capital projects and administration of the recreational activities.
If I may add to that, it provides additional staffing to manage the trails, to be at the gate, allowing for access. Previously, there was not that focus on having park rangers to be there to allow people to get inside Ruder Hess to use some of the trails and amenities in there.
Okay.
And so it does add some other staffing in the form of rangers. So it's not just for the staff person that Douglas County brought on, because they are actually taking on a lot of the administrative costs, such as insurance, benefits, legal staff, those type of things.
Perfect. And then that 210 is it's watched over by the managers group, correct? That you guys will report on where those dollars go?
Yes, it'll actually be the authority of, and which consists of the various Parks and Rec directors for the entities.
Outstanding. Even better, no offense.
None taken.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we're going to open up ordinance number 9.356 for public comment at 7:17. Anyone from the public? Seeing none, we'll close it at 7:17 and come back in reverse order for any final comments. Councilman Rivera?
No, this is a long time coming. I appreciate everybody recognizing the public was maybe had a little displeasure on getting in there and the time it was taking. Whereas I still think Parker would do the best job. I'm very happy to let Douglas County take the lead on this. So well done.
Councilmember Barrington?
Yeah, I think just makes sense, and I think it will open up a lot more opportunity for different activities, and I'm excited about it and supportive.
Councilmember Hendricks?
I echo what previous council members said. I'm excited and looking forward to more opportunity here too.
And Councilmember Dyak?
I'm in agreement.
Councilmember Wilkes?
No, I agree. Thank you.
Councilmember Hefta?
Yes, I think everyone's looking forward to increased public access to the water and land-based recreation, and that's a high priority for Ruder Hess. And with Douglas County now managing this and still having an advisory board, which they'll take input from, I think everyone's looking forward to seeing this flourish a little bit more for Douglas County residents. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion on ordinance number 9.356.
I move to approve ordinance number 9.356 on second reading.
Second.
Motion is made by Barrington, seconded by Hefta. Rivera?
Aye.
Barrington?
Yes?
Hendricks?
Yes.
Dyak?
Yes.
Wilkes?
Yeah, I.
Hefta?
Yes.
And that passes 6-0. With no other business before the Parker Town Council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion is made by Rivera, seconded by Hendricks. Rivera?
No.
Everybody's a comedian tonight. Barrington?
No.
Hendricks?
No.
Dyak?
It happens, no.
Oh, Wilkes?
No.
Hefta?
Nope.
And that fails on a 0-6.
Now what do we do?
What else do we want to talk about?
You can't talk about anything. There's nothing on the calendar.
Yeah, nothing else?
Well, since there's nothing for staff to present.
Yeah, you guys can
discuss,
go.
we're
You're
leaving.
good. Yeah, go now. Go. All right, let's try that again. Rivera,
Aye.
Barrington.
Yes.
Hendrick, Dyak,
Yeah.
Wilkes.
Yes.
Hefta.
Yes.
That passes 6-0. We're-